So in this section, we want to talk about evangelism. This is a topic that's definitely near and dear to my heart and to Greg's heart. So to be clear, evangelism is not the primary purpose of our jobs. The Bible actually gives lots of reasons for motivations and reasons why we work. But don't kid yourself. Evangelism definitely is one purpose of why you're at your job. So how do we know this? Well, Paul, writing in 2 Corinthians 5, says that we are new creations in Christ. And as new creations in Christ, we are ambassadors, that God actually makes his appeal to other people through us. Did you ever think about that? That you are a full-on, decked-out ambassador of the King of Kings, of the King of the universe. And as an ambassador, he's committed to you the message of reconciliation. He's committed to you the message of the gospel, the good news that God forgives sinners in Christ. So that's going to be true in your home, that's going to be true in your church, that's going to be true in your neighborhood, and that is certainly going to be true in your job. You are an ambassador of the King. And so therefore, you should care about evangelism in the workplace. It's not always easy to share the gospel in our workplaces. Well, why is that? Well, I know for me, there's sort of a couple of barriers to evangelism that I faced in the workplace, and maybe you have as well. On the one hand, I faced discouragement. Sometimes in the workplace, it's enough just to kind of keep my head above water. I might be having conflict with people in the workplace, difficult circumstances or situations going on. And so in those times, it's hard to be thinking about evangelism when I'm just personally discouraged myself. Another barrier is, I think, worldliness. Worldliness looks like there's other times in the workplace where things might be going really well, where I'm sort of afraid to talk about the gospel. I don't want to talk about Jesus because I'm getting along great with my coworkers and my boss, or the business is going well. And the last thing I want to do is kind of, quote, mess it up. Maybe these are some of the barriers that you face. We all might face different ones. Well, what we want to do in this section is help you not just think about these barriers, but help you think practically about how you can overcome them and be a more effective ambassador in the workplace. So in this section, we've listed out several ways that you can be an effective ambassador for King Jesus. And I think the first two are sort of the most simple and the most important to some extent. The first one, I think it starts with doing good work. It's very hard to be an effective ambassador if you're shoddy at your job, if you're arrogant, if you're unapproachable, if you're not somebody who people want to be around or with in the office place. And the second way is putting God on the table, making it known that you're a Christian. It's hard to be an ambassador if no one even knows who you're an ambassador for. This was really driven home to me in one of my first jobs out of college. I remember I was actually on a business trip, and I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself that here, first day on the job, I had to go out of town and leave my friends behind. And I sat at dinner with the person who's going to be managing me, and I said to him, hey, just so you know, I'm happy to work as hard as you want me to, but I would love it if on Monday nights you just don't mind if I go home early because I'm in a Bible study and I'd like to be there for that Bible study. He didn't really say anything about it, but then about an hour later in the conversation, he said to me, hey, Sebastian, can we go back and talk about that Bible study you're in? I'd just like to know a little bit more about it and what you do there. Again, I think this is not exactly to say that every conversation you have is going to end up with someone wanting you to talk about what it means to be a Christian, but I use this example just to encourage you that huge things happen when you just put God on the table, when you let people know that you belong to Him and that you're His ambassador. So we hope and pray that as you go through this section, you will grow at being a wise and winsome evangelist. You will be one who's not irresponsible or arrogant in the way you do evangelism, but that you're considerate and wise in doing that. We also pray and hope that you'll be a ready evangelist, because who knows, God may have deployed you to this very job specifically because He wants you to tell others about Him. Above all, we hope that you see that God has a design for you in your work. And one of those purposes He has for you is for you to be an effective ambassador at all times for Him, even in your job.